Okay, let's start recording. Hi everybody, this is Victoria. Welcome back to another episode of Discovering Art Together. And today we're going to take a fun approach. We're going to look at two paintings by Jean-Dominique Auguste Ingres, and we're going to look at it with some photography eyes. And I've watched this recent video because I'm kind of getting into a little bit of photography and just kind of seeing the whimsical and magic behind the art of photography. And it's about 4 rules of composition. And we're going to take those 4 rules into these 2 portrait paintings that we see today of Jean-Dominique Auguste Ingres and see if we can actually apply those rules to art itself. So if you guys are ready, let's get started. Okay, so the first painting that we're going to look at is Joséphine-Éléonore-Marie-Pauline de Galard de Brassac de Béarn. So it was painted in 1825 to 1860, Princesse de Broglie. That is one hell of a long name. And the other painting that we're going to look at over here is Countess de from 1845, and these 2 paintings are by far my favorite paintings by Ingres, along with many others though, but we're going to take a look at these 2 specifically so that we can kind of get to see if we could apply the 4 rules of composition to 2 portrait paintings. Kind of like an interesting mix with the 2 though, but we'll see if it works out. It might not. It might kind of spark some new discovery and magic to it. So, now that we know the 2 paintings that we're going to look at, there are 4 rules. So the first rule is balance. The second one is flow. The third one is energy and dynamism. I can't remember how Nigel said it though. And then number 4 is depth. So this photography video / tutorial is by Nigel and he does amazing and beautiful landscape photography, and it just caught my eyes. I was just curious to see what I could actually learn from him and actually add into the artworks that I'm currently creating and see if I can kind of create something new with it. So let's take a look at the first rule over here, which is basically balance. So as you can see, the 2 paintings of Ingres, we have Joséphine on the left, and we also have Countess de on the right side. So when you mentioned a little bit about balance can be depicted with numerous elements. It could either be direction of line, or it could also be kind of colors and shapes to kind of balance off the painting or the picture. So if we take a look at Joséphine over here, Joséphine is actually a very nice balance because we actually can see the lighting that kind of goes across from the bottom left corner to the top right corner, and that kind of creates a really nice balance of both side and diagonally too. So that's one of the key points that was very good for the balance in here. And just generally the painting itself, it has a very balanced shape because Joséphine's pose itself kind of creates this large triangular shape, which kind of shows stability and balance. So that's one of the things. And then also by adding the sofa in front, we have the diagonal line crossing from the bottom right corner to the top left. So there's quite a few balance points that we can actually use in this painting. Now let's take a look at the other painting over here of Countess de And with her, she also has a very good balance too, because Ingres used a very similar lighting as he did with Joséphine. So we have this really large diagonal line that kind of goes across the whole painting, and lighting and shadow is a great way to play around with balance because it has weight to the lighting, and then also just generally the placement of the figure in this painting kind of helps and guides us in this diagonal direction, mostly with her hand posed at beside her cheek, or like at the base of her chin. Now that we took a look a little bit about balance over here, oh, and wait, just still one more. And then she also has a very nice balance, because even though her triangular shape isn't as balanced as the one in Joséphine, she has a reflection of herself in the mirror. So having that beside there really balances out the painting, because if there was nothing there, it would look very empty. And then with that, with no extra support on the right side, this painting would be toppling over and become out of balance. Now we have balance, let's talk a little bit about flow here. So flow in the two paintings, let's take a look at Joséphine first. So she has a very nice flow, and it's kind of like a continuous flow. So she kind of has this focus where her arm and also where her face is. So it's our main focus, and then we tend to kind of have our eyes attracted to that particular area, and then we kind of go in a triangle manner and flow of going back from looking at the face, and then to the beautiful dress, and then to her hands, and then back again to the top of her face again, and so on and so forth. Now if we take a look at Countess de Sonville, we have a nice straight, well, not really straight flow, but like this nice curvy flow. So we can start from a little bit of the top left corner, and it kind of curves down, and we kind of follow the flow and the shape of her arms, or her head, her arms, and then her whole waist and body, and that creates a very nice flow. And Ingres Ingres used the lighting to kind of create this flow. So not only using the figure itself though, but having the lighting to support the main subject here. Okay, so now we know a little bit of flow. Now let's take a look at if these two paintings have energy with them. So when Nigel mentioned about energy, he kind of used an example of something that's alive in a way. So he took an example of photography and having the composition having water in it, or clouds, or even just generally lighting itself and just having like a really good movement and momentum. So that's what he kind of explained with the photographs that he did, because since photography can be very still, we want something to kind of substitute and kind of fill in this void of momentum and movement. So if we take a look at these two paintings over here, Ingres' momentum, or Ingres' energy and flow, I would say mostly comes with color, because since everything is already very static, the person is a living being, life itself, surrounded by all the more static still life and furniture and interior design. So this kind of already has like a balance of energy, but adding the correct lighting and also bringing more vibrant colors into the painting makes the energy more lively too. So you see that in both the Joséphine painting and then also the Countess de Sonville. Okay, and last but not least, depth. So do we have depth in these two paintings? Nigel mentioned a little bit about depth within his landscape photography is basically not only having something that kind of takes us into the picture as kind of like a guide, so we're using a little bit of perspective. So as he mentioned depth, I kind of translate it as a little bit of perspective, something that kind of brings us depth into the painting. It's not just a static flat surface, right? So he also mentioned a little bit about having closer objects and further objects, and having some that are closer to the camera and some are further, so you kind of build the layers that way. And you can also use color as well to create depth. So if you have more variety of different colors, you can also create that depth as well. So with these two paintings that we're looking at today, Joséphine also does have a nice depth because of the dark background, and also for the furniture in the front. So we have the furniture, or that yellow golden couch in the front with some clothing, gloves on it, and then as you can see, that already acts as a foreground. And then you have the person, which is in the middle ground, and then the background is basically the interior of the room, and then adding light and shadow to the painting and into that room. That creates even more depth because the person is in a very bright lighting, while the background is a little bit more of a darker, deeper, and kind of goes into the void. Now, if you take a look at Countess de Sonville, she also has a lot of depth in it. She used a very different manner than we would see in Joséphine. Ingres added depth by adding the mirror on the right side of the figure. So generally mirrors has a lot of depth because it's a reflection of the entire room, so it makes us have a lot of perspective to kind of go in and beyond into the mirror. So that was actually a great idea that Ingres decided to have that added in order to create depth, because we don't see as much of the furniture. We do see them on the side though. We have the person in the foreground, and then we have the background with some interior designs. The mirror is the main focus in order to create this nice depth into the painting, and that really adds that nice magical element to make this painting all complete. Okay, and that is all for today. So I hope you guys found this very interesting new discovery of mashing up photography and fine arts a little bit together, and just kind of see if they could somewhat relate and be useful and helpful with one another, because at the end of the day, they're both a type of art. Is just one is probably a little bit more handmade though, but I do realize that photography also, you have to put in a lot of effort in order to find that perfect scene that you want to capture, right? With painting, I find I have a little bit more liberty of creating more and having more control at hand, while photography, you have to work a lot with the placement that you're in, the correct lighting, the timing. Timing is crucial for photography, and it's interesting to kind of see both sides of the arts. But yeah, okay, if you guys discover anything new, please do let me know, so you guys can comment below to see what you thought about this video, and just kind of share some of your discoveries of things that I probably didn't pick up on, but it'll be interesting to kind of discover a little bit together and see what else we could probably find within the arts of photography, and then the arts within fine arts and paintings. But thank you again so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this brand new video. Looking forward to making new videos like these and trying to test out different things and see where I can actually share my curiosity and possibilities of seeing things outside of the box. I'm still learning a lot about photography, since I just decided to kind of jump in a little bit into that just to see what's actually behind the scenes of the arts of photography. I never really got into it because I was slightly bit biased over photography though. But the funniest thing is that at the same time, I also do like to look at really, really beautiful pictures, and it's interesting to see it not only at a surface level, but also looking in the makings and production of photography. So that's pretty cool. And feel free to check out Nigel's YouTube channel as well, and you can also check out his videos and learn great photography tips by him. He is a amazing photography, and I have so much more to learn from him. So I look forward to watching and continue watching his videos and yeah, see where I can take my photography skills. but yeah, I'll link some links below so you can check out his videos there. But stay creative, have fun, and don't stop learning. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have fun, take care, bye!